So guys, if you're buying a home in Las Vegas and you're debating on whether or not to buy in an HOA community or go without one, then this video is going to break it all down for you. I'm Jacob Ballew, Las Vegas luxury real estate agent, and I help buyers like you figure out exactly what you're getting into before you sign anything. So let's talk about HOAs. I know, it's not fun. A lot of people hear HOA and they immediately think of fines, restrictions, and some neighbor reporting you for parking in the wrong spot or looking over the wall, checking weeds, things like that. I get it. That reputation does exist for a reason. So here's the thing. In Vegas, and especially in the luxury and these master plan communities where my clients are buying, HOAs are often one of the biggest reasons that a neighborhood holds its value and it stays desirable long term. So today I'm going to walk you through the real benefits of buying in an HOA community compared to a non-HOA neighborhood. And then hopefully by the end of the video, you're going to have a better idea, a clearer picture of which one actually fits your situation best. So let's start with the most obvious. You've got neighborhood consistency and the curb appeal. So when you buy in an HOA community, you're buying into the set of standards that every homeowner has to follow. That means no one parks a decommissioned school bus on their front lawn. No one lets their yard go completely brown and overgrown for 3 straight summers. No one decides to paint their house a color that looks vastly different than the rest of the neighboring properties. So that might sound like micromanagement, and for some people it is, but for most buyers, especially those coming in from California and other high-cost markets, that consistency is exactly what they want because it protects your investment. So in a non-HOA neighborhood, you have zero control over what your neighbors do to their property. And that matters because property values in the surrounding homes does affect yours. So if the house next door starts looking rough, then your home's perceived value, it's gonna take a hit too. It's not always fair, but it is real. So in an HOA neighborhood, the CC&Rs are there to keep that from happening. Next up, we have the shared amenities. And this is one of the things that actually makes the HOA fees feel like they're worth it for a lot of my clients. So when you buy into a master plan community like Summerlin or Southern Highlands, Sky Canyon, your HOA dues are often what funds the pools, the fitness centers, the walking trails, the parks, guard gates, community events. In a non-HOA neighborhood, none of that exists unless somebody builds it privately. And you're not paying HOA fees, but you're also not getting those amenities either. So when a buyer tells me that they don't want to pay HOA fees, I always ask, what are you getting in return for saving that money? Because in a lot of cases, the answer is nothing. So if you're somebody who values community infrastructure, resort style living, walkability, an HOA community is almost always going to deliver more of that than a non-HOA street. So let's talk about the property value protection. And this is the one that matters most to investors and long-term buyers. Studies consistently show that homes in HOA communities do tend to hold their value better and appreciate more steadily over time than comparable homes in non-HOA areas. And the big reason for that is the uniformity and the upkeep standards that we already talked about. But there's another piece of this. Lenders and appraisers both take the condition and the consistency of the surrounding neighborhood into account when you're in a well-maintained HOA community that works in your favor at resale. Buyers who come looking at your home also see the neighborhood, and the neighborhood looks sharp. Your home shows better. It has that better curb appeal. In Las Vegas specifically, some of the most sought after zip codes and communities are HOA governed. Summerlin, Henderson's master planned areas, Southern Highlands, the Ridges, Red Rock Country Club, all of these, Sienna, Sun City, these communities carry a reputation, and that reputation has a real dollar value attached to it. So let's talk about the dispute resolution. This one is underrated. So when there's a conflict between neighbors in a non-HOA neighborhood, your options are pretty limited. You can try to work it out yourself, you can call the city, or you can hire a lawyer. And none of those are really good options, but in an HOA community, there is a process. There are rules that both parties have agreed to, and there's a structure for handling complaints and the violations. Is it perfect? No, but it does beat having at least no mechanism at all. So in your neighborhood, is a tree destroying your fence, or somebody's running a business out of their garage that's creating traffic issues, and HOA gives you somewhere to actually take and voice that concern. So let's address something that comes up constantly with my California clients: security and gated access. A huge percentage of the luxury communities in Vegas are gated, and gating is almost always tied to an HOA. Guard-gated communities like Queensridge, McDonald Highlands, Sienna, Tournament Hills, those exist because HOA infrastructure. The guard at the gate, that controlled access, that sense of privacy, those are HOA benefits. And you just can't replicate that in a non-HOA setting unless you're buying on a private road with a private gate that you're maintaining yourself. So for buyers coming from coastal markets who are used to security and privacy, this is often non-negotiable. And in Vegas, you get it through the HOA. Now, I do want to be balanced here because there are legitimate reasons somebody might prefer non-HOA homes. So if you want total freedom over what you can do with your property, including short-term rentals, running a home business, making modifications without approval, a non-HOA home gives you that flexibility. Some buyers also prefer older established neighborhoods that have a more organic feel. And HOA fees are real carrying costs. So depending on the community, you could be looking at anywhere from $100 a month to several $100s a month or more in some luxury communities. And that factors into your budget and your debt to income when qualifying for a loan. Okay, so it's not one that's objectively better, but it's about matching the right community to your lifestyle, to your goals, and what you actually want out of home ownership. But if you're a buyer who values long-term property value, community consistency, and shared amenities and security, an HOA community is almost always going to check more of those boxes. If you're looking to buy in Las Vegas and you want to know somebody if they know these communities from the inside out, I'd love to help you find the right fit. So please hit the link in the description, schedule a free consultation with me, and let's figure out what neighborhood actually matches what you're looking for. I'm Jacob Ballew. You can subscribe, like my channel, comment, do all that fun stuff. I'm here as your Las Vegas real estate content agent, and I will see you in the next video.